Hi, so if you've been here before on this channel, you know that this is the third time I'm uploading this watch list. Well, that was because the first time I re-uploaded this, the audio was like really bad. Like there were duplicates of like sound bites and stuff like that. So this time I've decided I'm going to re-upload this as its own thing. If you've noticed, both the other two videos are now private, and I'm going to re-upload this with good audio. Like, it's still not going to be the best because, I filmed it on an old camera, no microphones. The audio is going to be what it offered. And this time I'm uploading it in the timely fashion I wanted it to, because I wanted that video to come out at the beginning of October. Everyone knows Halloween watch list, you gotta release it before Halloween, because that first video, I ended up uploading it at like 10 p.m. on Halloween, like the night of Halloween, when everyone is at their parties, Halloween is ending. That's when I uploaded the watch list. So it's kind of like, why would you release a watch list at the end of October? There is an explanation as to why that video took me so long. You don't have to watch it, but it's there. Literally like 2 hours before October ends. So this time this video is going up in a timely fashion. It's gonna have better audio, and I hope if you watch this already, I hope you enjoy it. This time with better audio, and if it's your first time here, I hope you enjoyed the entire video. This video is fine for the most part, but I'm just making this warning just in case. Hello there, welcome to the haunting Halloween bash. I am your host. Can you haunt somebody else's walls for now? I'm busy. I know. I get it. I'm sorry about that. I know. But please, you can come back here after. I promise. Sorry, that was my boyfriend. He gets a little bored sometimes, so he just tries to come and bother me. But anyways, I am your glamorous guide to werewolves, vampires, ghouls, horror, and bewitching vixens. We are going to take a look at some mortifying movies and some terrifying tunes. What would the season be without frightening features? Now, these aren't actually very frightening, at least I wouldn't consider them frightening, because at heart, I'm really just a scaredy cat, regardless of my love for all things horror. This list will also not be completed on tape. Otherwise, this video will probably be around 5 hours. So, this list contains enough films to fill up all 31 and more. There were like 100 films on the list, days of October. But this video is arriving a lot later than that. So really, you have like 2 days to watch these films, but please, only see it as a guide. You can pick and choose any you like. We're all just having fun. But if you want another guide from me, I'm always here, lurking. I've also made sure these are pretty accessible. Most of these are on streaming services or are easy to buy on DVD. So there won't be an instance where you have to dig into the basement of an old cinema that was converted into a estate agents in 1998 to find the film reels. Or there is always These are a mixture of my all-time favorite horror films and films that just fit into the season of Halloween. So, grab your favorite beverage. I personally prefer anything with the essence of wing of bat, especially exported from Transylvania, and an eyeball for a garnish. and treat yourself to one of these films. And to just get these out of the way, I cannot make this list without talking about the titular pictures. So I recommend John Carpenter's Halloween, Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, Rob Zombie's Halloween, and Halloween 2018. Each of these offers a different interpretation of the notorious Michael Myers. And one of these doesn't even star Michael Myers at all. I believe the one without Michael Myers is the best of the series. Halloween 3 is an incredibly brave film for having a Halloween film with no Michael Myers. I also believe it's the best for the season because this film is drenched in Halloween. Everything. Orange, green, and black. Perfect. And don't get me started on that Shamrock's jingle.
8 more days to Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. 8 more days to Halloween, Silver Shamrock. 8 more days to Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. 8 more days to Halloween, Silver Shamrock.
Idle hands.
Idle hands are the devil's playground, especially for stoner slacker Anton, who finds the hand he uses for the pipe is now being used for murder. This is another film I believe is perfect for the Halloween season. This film has events that lead up to Halloween, with amazing practical and makeup effects, slapstick gore, and insane performance from the same hand that appeared in the Addams Family films.
To develop the wacky character of the possessed severed hand, Rodman Flinders was led to sleight of hand magician Christopher Hart, who played Thing in the Addams Family movie.
So I'll show you Thing was more expressive and fun. If he was excited, he'd hop up like a little puppy dog. If he was nervous, he'd quiver.
I told Chris this hand has got to be entirely different. This hand has got to be a mean killing machine. This is the Terminator of severed hands.
And Vivica A. Fox playing a druidic priestess sworn
to fight a certain evil force that possesses the laziest fuck-up it can find.
What more could you ask for in a film?
Van Helsing.
This film has quite the reputation. I still feel this is a fun Halloween romp if you want a horror action flick. This follows monster hunter Van Helsing, who is sent to Transylvania to stop Count Dracula, who's been using Dr. Frankenstein's creation and a werewolf for his villainous plan. This film is extremely entertaining. There is action scene after action scene. It's extremely fast paced and it's just fun all round. And I can't talk about this movie without talking about the sequence at the beginning, which is a great homage to the original Frankenstein film. I would also like to note, if you are a fan of werewolves, this is the perfect film for you. This has one of the greatest werewolf transformations I've ever seen. It's right up there with The Howling and American Werewolf in London. The creature also has a pretty cool design in this as well. So if you're looking for a little bit of fun this season and you're willing to overlook the below average CGI, then this is the film for you. Puberty can be a scary thing, and on the night of her first period, Ginger Fitzgerald gets attacked by a vicious lycanthrope. But while her body is already going through some changes, something just isn't right about the ones Ginger is going through. This is another werewolf classic. The cold, dreary atmosphere of autumn and the nights leading up to Halloween makes this a great film to watch. I'd also recommend you watch this as a double feature with the sequel, Ginger Snaps 2 Unleashed, which follows the sister of Ginger Fitzgerald, Bridget, as she must learn to save herself after the events of the first film.
Coraline. Paranorman.
These stop-motion marvels are sure to fulfill your needs this Halloween. Coraline tells the story of its titular character, an 11-year-old girl who moves into an old house with her parents, finds a hidden passage which crosses into a parallel world where her parents are more caring and her dreams are always fulfilled. But the sinister secrets of the alternate reality are soon revealed when she refuses to offer to stay there. This is beautifully animated, immersive, and to some extent unnerving. And Paranorman, the boy who can communicate with the dead, who no one actually believes he can apart from his new friend that he's made at school. Then one day, his eccentric uncle tells him of a ritual he must perform to save the cursed town that was cast by a witch decades ago. Paranorman is a loving ode to zombie films with heart and manages to tackle multiple themes without it being awkwardly mishandled within the plot. And of course this has beautiful animation. These films are sure to be great animated Halloween treats. And for a bonus film, why not watch Henry Selick's Coraline with Henry Selick's Nightmare Before Christmas? I would say it's more of a Christmas film, but I think the film is so versatile you can watch it during Halloween or Christmas and it's still perfect to watch. I would recommend the entire Evil Dead series, but I'm going to stick to gushing over the second installment in the series. This supernatural black comedy finds Ash Williams battling demons in a log cabin after he and his girlfriend discover a tape left behind by a scientist reciting a ritual from the evil book of the dead. This film is a personal favourite. This has slapstick gore and comedy, erratic demonic POVs, and balls to the wall unconventional cinematic excess. What a blast!
That, a comedy with bite.
This 1986 neon-drenched vampire comedy follows two fraternity pledges who decide to go to a sleazy strip club who are both unaware that it's occupied by vampires. This features a mesmerizing, seductive, and terrifying performance from Grace Jones, who stars as a pharaoh vampire. As a fan of live-action cartoons, this haunted house film follows a girl named Gorgeous and her 6 classmates going to her aunt's country house, but there's more that meets the eye. They encounter evil spirits, a house cat, and a haunted piano.
Death becomes her.
In one small bottle, the fountain of youth, the secret of eternal life, the power of an ancient potion. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. After Madeline marries Ernest, who was actually the fiancé of Helen, Helen vows to murder Madeline after she has her mental breakdown. But a simple murder plot becomes way more complex when a potion is involved. With such entertaining and mesmerizing performances from Meryl Streep, Isabella Rossellini, Goldie Hawn, and Bruce Willis in a very rare nerd role, paired with masterful effects wizardry. This campy, 50s horror comic book inspired body horror comedy from Robert Zemeckis is sure to give you life. They're creepy and they're kooky, mysterious and spooky. They're all together ooky. They're the Addams Family. I've decided to put both Addams Family films on this list because they're both so enjoyable to watch. This gothic family rom is an excellent reimagining of the nonconformist family living in modern day America. The first film sees Uncle Fester make an unexpected return to the Addams Family household. But is it really the same Uncle Fester Gomez shared his childhood with? And the sequel still focuses on Fester, this time with the family's new nanny, Debbie Jelinski, who seems to have ulterior motives. There is also a new addition to the Addams Family, Baby Pubert, in which Wednesday and Pugsley will stop at no end to get rid of. These films have a perfectly dedicated cast, along with incredible set design and costumes. These films are also cleverly absurd, whilst having endearingly heartfelt tales of torture and brushes with death, and one around brotherly love. These are ones that will never, ever get tired or old. Another zany and whimsical horror flick that finds a dead couple discovering a new family is moving into their old home and call upon Beetlejuice for help. This is hilariously ghoulish and gushing with creativity, with an iconic performance from Michael Keaton as the titular Beetlejuice. Another entity that only appears once called upon. Candyman is summoned when a college student says his name 5 times whilst researching into the myth. Tony Toller's Candyman is mesmerizing yet terrifying, with his smooth, luring voice.
Be my victim. I am the writing on the wall, the whisper in the classroom. Without these things, I am nothing. So now I must shed innocent blood.
His well-kept bees and his gruesome claw for a hand. His performance is definitely one to stay and watch for. This film, with its commentary on gentrification and the ultimate trauma left behind from slavery, ghastly gore, and dreamy hypnotic soundtrack. This is not only a great film for Halloween, but also great for the autumn season.
We'll return after these messages.
It was pure pain and torture cutting this list down for this video, so be sure to take a look at the full list linked in the description below. It features films such as Scooby-Doo and its sequel, Casper, both Fright Nights, Tales from the Hood, Thirst, the Nightmare on Elm Street films, and so much more.
Return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
This is my campaign for Lupita Nyong'o to become a new Scream Queen. Her first 2 forays into horror have been spectacular. From Us, in which she gives us a double performance as Red and Adelaide, in which Adelaide and her family are met with their doppelgangers at the front steps of their beach house. Lupita gives captivating performances as both Red and Adelaide in this Jordan Peele horror film about class. Little Monsters has Lupita Nyong'o giving us a charming performance as a school teacher who partners up with a musician and a kids show personality to save kids from a sudden zombie outbreak. Please watch these with the mindset that Hollywood needs to change in terms of representation of marginalized groups and the exploitation of those who work in this industry, and not just something that's super freaky and spooky. These 4 documentaries that are exclusively on Shudder, no, I'm not being sponsored, are great if you're looking to be freaked out by some true events. Cursed Films is your film if you're looking for what I just said. This 5-part documentary explores the myths and legends behind some of Hollywood's most notoriously cursed horror film productions, from plane accidents and bombings on the set of The Omen, to the rumoured use of real human skeletons in Poltergeist, to the all-round treacherous behind the scenes of the making of Twilight Zone, the movie. Based on the book by Robin Means Coleman, Horror Noir explores the history of Black Americans and their relationship to the genre of horror, and centuries of Hollywood utilizing, caricaturizing, exploiting, sidelining, and finally embracing them into the genre. And finally, In Search of Darkness, Parts 1 and 2 both explore 80s horror films through the perspective of actors, directors, producers and special effects craftspeople who made them and their impact on contemporary cinema. Ghost town of Bad City, Iran, residents encounter a skateboarding vampire who who preys upon men who disrespect women. A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night is a seditious, slow burn horror tale that is beautifully shot and subverts expectations brilliantly. This is the ultimate Halloween film. This Halloween anthology film follows 4 stories all intertwined with each other that all take place on the day of All Hallows Eve, with unexpected turns at every corner, innovative kills, Halloween spirit at every turn, and that cute little jack-o'-lantern boy. This was destined to be a Halloween classic. This is another case in which I could just recommend the whole series, but I'm just going to talk about my personal favourite. But in order to understand Bride of Chucky, I'll just give you the quick lowdown. So, in the first film, Child's Play, Chucky, a good guy doll, is possessed by the spirit of a serial killer. Bride of Chucky gives us the chapter in his little plastic life when we meet the woman he almost married before transferring his soul into the doll. This film gave us one of the best additions to this series, Tiffany. Chucky teams up with her as they go on a road trip to New Jersey to find an amulet that can both bring them back into their human forms. Compared to the other films, this is more on the comedy side, which I prefer, but this is incredibly entertaining and fun, regardless of the fact that it's about serial killer dolls, with amusing kills and another charming performance from Jennifer Tilly. This is great if you prefer a horror film that doesn't take itself too seriously. What is the difference between pleasure and pain? Hellraiser asks this question a lot. When an unfaithful wife is encountered by the zombie of her former lover in the old house that they've moved into, he pleads with her to bring him human sacrifices so he can become whole again and escape the hellish Cenobites. This film is known for being gory, sadomasochistic, and a pretty deviant film. I would say it's not quite like that. In terms of gore, Hellraiser is not very tame, but when it comes to the quote-unquote sexual deviant stuff, I'd say it's pretty tame, even for the 80s. Much tamer than what I'm making it out to be. This has spectacular makeup and practical effects, and I just marvel at them just thinking about it. I am pairing this up with the sequel, Hellraiser 2, Hellbound, as we get to see even more of the Cenobites than we did in the first film. And of course, there is much more gore. This is a genuine warning. There's a blood-soaked mattress and it's caused by a man cutting himself due to his own paranoia. The sequel follows Kirsty, the stepdaughter of the unfaithful wife from the first film, who is sent to Dr. Channard, who is warning of the same Cenobites that dragged her family to hell. Dr. Channard has been trying to find the gateway to hell for years, and he uses Kirsty to get to his end goal. This features hell as a labyrinth with great designs. These are definitely worth the watch for the style and the special effects. Unconventional animated gem. The motion capture animated film Monster House finds out what happens when it seems like the house across the street seems to be alive. This is an adventurous, action-filled horror film and is great for the kids, or for those who are kids at heart, like me. This is a personal favorite choice again, but really, I'm going to recommend the whole Final Destination series. In case you don't know or are unaware of the premise, Final Destination usually follows a small group of people who escape impending death after the protagonist has a premonition and warns them of the mass casualty accident that is about to happen. After that, each member of the group is killed off in bizarre ways. I would say watch the full series, but I'm telling you now that my favorite is Final Destination 3. All these films stand alone, so you don't need to watch the other ones to catch up. And when I say watch the full series, I would recommend skipping the fourth one. We don't talk about the fourth one, but yes, I'm recommending the whole series, so have a blast with this bizarre, extremely over the top, yet somehow fun film series. This film is definitely in the same vein as Evil Dead 2 or even Army of Darkness. This is pure fun, covered in 90s green goo and filled with mayhem. This zany, cartoony film follows an ex-soldier who holds the key that could unlock a tremendous evil. He has been on the run for almost 90 years and comes across a boarding house in New Mexico. A demon called the Collector catches up to him, he who is the guardian with the key, as he wants to insinuate an apocalypse. This film is a fun masterpiece with goofy mythology, stunning creature designs, cartoonish gore, and captivating performances from the entire cast, especially Billy Zane as the Collector. This truly is one of my favorite Tales from the Crypt. I recommend the classic Universal monster films. And by Universal monster films, I mean from any era. Maybe you want to watch The Mummy or The Mummy. It's really up to you. It's just a recommendation. Or if you're not looking for Universal's interpretation, why not check out the Hammer Horror interpretations? These films are so far from the source material, they may as well be their own thing. I'm going to give you the recommendations after this clip because there's quite a lot to get through. Why not take a bite into Dracula 1931, Dracula 1958 from Hammer Horror, and Dracula 1992, directed by Francis Ford Coppola. There's also James Wells' Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, Curse of Frankenstein from Hammer Horror, and Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. There's the aforementioned The Mummy 1958 from Hammer Horror, and The Mummy 1999. The Vampire Lovers is Hammer Horror's interpretation of Camilla. And lastly, there's The Invisible Man and The Invisible Man 2020 from the failed attempt that was the Universal Dark Universe. I'm reminding you of the list linked in the description below. It is way more extensive and may have a film that you actually like on the list. But of course, if you don't care, you don't have to click it. Alas, this special is complete. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Happy haunting and have a fantastic day or night, whatever time you're watching this.
Some glow-in-the-dark bags. This is the best costume ever!
I'm a pirate.
No.
Spaceman?
No.
Ninja?